it only will let me do a chat there, or a short. But I come over to this account, I can do a live video again. Okay. I'll try to keep it nice, right? It is the day after New Year's, January 2nd. I have some jobs scheduled this morning, but with this white that you see is snow. It's snowing pretty awful hard out here, and I'm kind of hamstrung, and of course, and then the truck with all the other wonderful stuff. You get to listen to the backdrop, the story of the truck making its racket, and we're going to drive across town to go to a Pasto and park out front and wait up the stuff. Supposedly the worst of it's supposed to move out of here by noon. The guys at Pasto show up at noon, so if I can get the damn shop back up the ramp, then I will go do them. And then I got a call New Year's Eve from a golf substance out there. They want to know if they got a grease trap, and if we do, we do it. So if I can get out there today, that's my plan. You know, now you can see the little bouncing around and stuff. This ride's different from the old truck. The old truck, I used to have the doohickey up here on the dash, and it would still vibrate and bounce around. But this is on one of these spindle things that you sit in your coffee mug holder, right? So I have to share my coffee mug holder. Fortunately, it has two of them damn things on it. So it's been not a good weekend, kind of a bad weekend. This whole past week's been pretty bad. I had somebody cry to the boss's wife that I was driving a little aggressive last week. I couldn't tell you if I was or I wasn't. Maybe they thought I was. Anyway, she didn't think I was taking it serious enough, which just kind of cheesed her off. So now she's been cheesed off out me all through the holiday. Plus, she's dealing with the end of the year, end of the month stuff, trying to get all the books and everything straightened out and ready for the end of the year so they can file the taxes and all the other stuff that goes along with running a small business. It can be a challenge. And I appreciate what that part of that stuff I would not want to do unless I absolutely had to. But we were supposed to have one of my coworker Kevin and his spouse was supposed to come over Christmas or New Year's Eve. They came over Christmas Eve, which was, hey, that was awesome. Anyway, we went out and bought a little extra stuff, expecting to have company, and of course, company never came. One of the hardest parts about that sort of thing is when you're just the two of you, and you're sitting there, and you keep watching the clock, and you keep watching the window to see if somebody pulled up the driveway. About 10 o'clock, our local time, I just closed the windows, started putting stuff away because they're not coming, and I didn't want to call them and put them on the spot. They might have had to change it. They might have had an emergency. They may have forgotten. I don't know. But when your circle of people is very tiny and that sort of thing happens, it hurts. It hurts. And then, of course, I've been in a very passive-aggressive funk for a while now. I'm not going to lie. I'm having issues, and it's hard for me to cope with it. I'm literally terrified of not being able to pay anything next month or this coming year with all the increased prices and tariffs and stuff. I'm barely holding on. I mean, literally, there's nothing left. How do I pay down the credit card and say, if I can just barely make a little more than the minimum payment? How do I save money for an emergency? Let alone save for retirement. Just save for retirement. I've been hearing it all my life. No offense. Most of us can't afford that. It has to come out of our checks or we can't force ourselves to do it. That discipline just does not exist for most people. And if you're one that does, hey, good for you. But you're an exception anymore. Just saying, you're an exception to the rule. Meanwhile, took a nap yesterday, laid down, took a little nap after we did the video in the living room, and the wife got up about 2 o'clock, 1:30, went to the bathroom, and then she had a seizure. I knew it was because I heard her body hit the floor. That's sometimes the only way you know it's going to happen after My wife does not get grand mal seizures. She's epileptic, but she doesn't get those flopping around on the floor kind of seizures. So with her, it's like somebody pulled the cord on the computer. She just unplugged the computer and she just hit the floor. And she was on the toilet and pitched forward, face first, split her lip, bit her lip real bad on the inside, cut herself here, and bleeding all over the place. That's what I saw was all the blood. I just about had a heart attack. And of course, I'm trying to to see if she's okay, and it's a literal a warm body on the floor that's incapable of moving or doing anything. I mean, it's unnerving. It can be very unnerving, and I've been dealing with it for most of my damn adult life. I'm just saying it's not something that I would wish on anybody to deal with. And of course, she didn't even know it happened after she starts coming out of it, she's still not quite 100% sure what happened. She don't know why she's bleeding. She don't know why they're, and of course, I wanted to take her to urgent care. Unfortunately, being that it was, first of the year, nobody was open. And it wasn't bad enough to justify taking her to the ER because there's nothing they can do about her seizures. So even if somebody had called an ambulance, for example, if I panicked and called an ambulance, they would have arrived. She was out of it by that time, and all they could do is stitch her up or clean her up and suggest she go see a doctor for some stitches or something. So, and of course she's been all evening last night trying to apologize like she had any control over that, and it is what it is. It just helps reinforce even more my feeling of being a helpless participant in this nightmare that the world has become. And I just don't cope with it well. I just don't know how to cope with it. Trying to do my damn level best. Trying to keep us afloat. So last week with the holiday, I had 32 hours, and my check tomorrow is $516. That's my take home. And for a lot of people, that would be a nice check. For me, I have my furnace payment has to be paid. That's a personal loan that I took out to replace their furnace. That's $200. Right off the bat, $200 of my $500 is out the door. Plus Medica, my contribution to the Affordable Care Act runs about $60. So, and that's with a $9,600 deductible. So if it wasn't for the community care program down there, I wouldn't have health care because I could not pay out of pocket. I can't pay $300 a month or $500 a month for insurance, and I can't pay $500 a month in copays. So either way, I don't have insurance unless I have a charity program to back up the community care, the ACA. So the ACA, Obamacare, isn't all that in a bag of damn chips. Yeah, it's better than nothing, but barely. Meanwhile, when you do all the races I've turned down in the past 3 years, I would be making almost $500 an extra month. $500 a month. Well, as I pointed out to my boss, I said that $500 a month is if they know why I can't take a raise, and I keep begging them to find some alternate way to help me get some extra cash. And that, of course, sets off all kinds of BS between the two of them. The co-owners, I love them to death, but there are days I just want to strangle them. They both want to help, and then they tell me, don't tell the other person. And then the other one says, I'll get you a job, just take cash for it, but don't tell the other person. And I said, look, I don't like to lie. I don't lie well. I don't lie well. And I don't want to lie. And sooner or later, we get a problem. And everybody gets butthurt about it, and nothing changes. The fact didn't change that I need that extra cash every month. There's no extra. 3 years ago, I had extra. Since COVID, little by little by little by little, I feel it very hard this past year. And I don't know how any of us get through this next year. And if you're not suffering from any of this, kudos for you, man. Kudos for you. But there's a lot of us that are facing a very dodgy year. And I'm not exaggerating. I'm not being dramatic, etc. I'm just being honest. It scares me to death. It's like this stuff. You think I want to be out here driving in this stuff? But I need the hours. I need the damn jobs done. I don't want them stacking up for next week, and I surely can't have a 20-hour check. As it sits now, after we get all the stuff we absolutely great, that guy just got spun out. Well, don't get over 40, dude. Doing 35 out here on 235. It's the main interstate that cuts through the center of Des Moines. And it's pickup in front of me just about did a 360 up. You did 180 and then came out of it. So that just tells you the roads are still dodgy. So I'm not in a hurry to get to my next job, which is another few exits down here, and then we'll get off there and go down and sit in front of their store and wait it out. You know? And then, of course, I'm probably getting, well, why did you sit there for 2.5 hours? Because it's safer than trying to drive to a job I know I can't get up the hill to. So we'll reschedule that job till next week when the weather's nicer and I got more time. You know, then I'll go do a pasta, this fancy restaurant with no menu that had my wife and I last Thursday as guests. I mean, that was an experience that I'll remember for the rest of my life. I was terribly uncomfortable. Terribly uncomfortable. And look, I know I ain't got none of this has got anything to do with role-playing games or our hobbies or any of this stuff. You just, unfortunately, the one of the two channels that won't let me do a damn live video while I'm sitting here freaking out. You know, not so much about the weather, but everything else that in control. I just feel like beating my head against the post all the damn time. You know, and it hurts. So I watch my wife pass out, worried that she's not going to come to while she's bleeding all over the floor. God, that made me worried as all get up. Then, of course, you know, she's supposed to call her neurologist's office today, let them know what happened, and see if they want to schedule her to come in. But I'm not home to make her do it. And I don't know if I'll get home in time to be able to call them. You know, as it sits now, I expect to be gone most of the day. That golf course was not on my schedule, but now it is. That's probably 3-4 hours that I wasn't planning on doing. I was going to be home for those 3 or 4 hours with the wife, have lunch, maybe get a nap, because I had a couple jobs to do this evening to do yet. And then tomorrow, it's the same guess again, trying to catch up and trying to get hours. So I pay my furnace bill, I pay my health care bill. We buy the cat food we absolutely have to buy. We have pets, we must support them first. Pay them first, get them fed first. Then we look at important sundries, things like toilet paper. You don't think toilet paper is important? Boy, you weren't shortchanged like a lot of us were a few years ago. I keep extra toilet paper in the garage, which pisses the wife off. She don't understand why I've got an extra 12-pack stashed up on the shelf. And she gets like, well, there's still toilet paper in the garage. No, there ain't. You can forget that toilet paper ever existed. I'll worry about when I start seeing little pieces of it raining down, then I know a mouse got into it. But other than that, we have it in surplus. It's the same reason why she thought I lost my marbles. When I stopped, I got a couple of totes full of ramen noodles, instant food products, honey, and I keep about 5 to 6 things of water stacked up. And she gets upset. Well, what if? What if? You know, worst case, bad weather shuts us down for 3 days. Be glad we have extra stuff. That's just kind of what goes par and pair. Yeah, get up here. It's one of these intersections. Come up to this light, and it's just steep enough that if you got to stop, you might not get back up there. You know, you'll have trouble getting through it, and the light doesn't does not stay green long, which causes a part of the problem too. And so, what you may now notice is that this will be the second live video I have done. And hey, I can even actually read some comments there. What's up? Maxwell Kuba, what's up, bub? How you doing, Maxwell? Sanjay. Driving train driving. Yep, something like that, right? Hostel Bynum. Hey, Hostel. I'm heading to a place that they call them Hostel Restaurant, right? Noon, a couple hours from now, I'll go through there if I can get up his driveway. I'm hoping, it looks to me the snow is slacking just a hair over here, although it's heavier. I mean, bigger stuff. So that's usually a sign it might be laying off. We weren't supposed to get more than between 2 and 4 inches. I don't think we've even got an inch out here. And it's not even 10 o'clock yet, so I know that we're still got more snow coming in. Welcome to January in Iowa. This is relatively ugly, but short. If it gets where we're going to get 4 to 8 inches, at that point the truck's done. I'm taking the truck back, and I'm not risking going into a ditch, damaging somebody else, hurting somebody else, or damaging the truck. I need the truck to run because that's how I make money. We all have to live a life somehow. It ain't got to be pretty. It ain't got to be easy. But it is what it is. I don't know. I just don't freaking know. So after I pay the necessities that have to get paid, and I buy the sundries that we have to have just to get by. This idiot's not supposed to turn left on the damn red light. I don't give a damn who goes. I ain't turning. I just don't see the point. Maybe 150. I'm trying to do this math in my head at the same time. I'm not having no light or what? It's dodgy weather. The weather turns south and then everything stops working. These little sensors. Some of these stoplights, people tell you, oh, no, they don't. Whoa, some of these lights have got sensors up here. They're designed to trip when traffic gets to them. Unfortunately, if they get covered in snow, they can get stuck in that one position because nothing's tripping them. Others are on timers, and then those I have frustrating opinions on. They're necessary evil. I'm not going to deny that, but when you roll up on a light and it turns red and there's absolutely nobody there, and there was nobody there when you were coming down the road, it's just kind of a little frustrating a little bit there, you know what I'm saying? Yeah, you know what it is. We got here going on. Google Live, our man in the field, planning for the Clown Convention and release of D&D in 2024. Awesome stuff, man. Awesome stuff. I haven't been able to do live videos in a couple of years. My previous phone is either 3G or 4G. I don't know. This is 5G. This one cost me $80. It was $75 $79 at Walmart. So it's probably a generation or two old. I mean, it's not one of the new ones, obviously, but it's better than the one I had. Although it has, once again, there's a learning curve to everything new. It took a couple hours and some help from a technician to figure out how to get my phone switched over so I can keep the number. I mean, a big part of my phone is devoted to customer contacts for customers, and a lot of my scheduling gets done through the phone via text anymore. That was something the boss's wife, she was just like, well, you don't ever call anybody. I said, no, it's because nobody calls nobody. It's a text. You send them a text, they look at it, they go, yeah, that day works. Yeah, that time works. See you then. Or, no, can we reschedule? Why waste their day and my time and their time chasing down phones, if you don't have to. I mean, sometimes you have to. Sometimes you don't. I love this neighborhood. I do. I love the neighborhood, but I don't like driving through it sometimes. This is one of the older sections of Des Moines. Once upon a time, this would have been some rich people living in these. A lot of these are apartments and stuff, but there's a lot of really, 120-year-old homes, 150-year-old homes up here. Some of them are bloody mansions. By today's standards, not so much. By the standards of the day back then, yeah, these things were up. Doctors and politicians were living here. Okay, so here's the fun part. This is a big, steep hill. We got to get down it. And since it's a manual, so I'll put it in neutral because I would rather slide down the hill than have this truck pushing itself down the damn hill. And then, of course, I got a nice idiot here blocking part of the driveway. What are you doing? So I got a guy that's blocking the spot he ain't even supposed to be parked at. That's the other guy. Well, he's the boss guy. He can do whatever he wants. Can't argue him. I got down here and park. Gotta love or hate him. A couple of years ago when I had the old truck, which you can't see is a wrought iron fence over here, and I was parked here doing this thing, and the old truck jumped my, see, I can't get up this damn slope. We're going to go park over across the street, hit somebody off the shirt. Yeah, we're not double park on the wrong side of the road. Welcome to Apasta. Dodgy weather. Gotta love it. Gotta love it. At least he's cleaning off the sidewalk. Alright. So, basically kill a couple hours. I'm not going to run this video for that damn long. Not even sure how to shut this video off, right? That's what it is. Alright, 20 minutes of me rambling and griping. Until next time. As soon as I can figure out how to shut it off. Like I said, everything's different. Is it just hit the X? Yeah, I don't know. Hit the X? No? Yeah, stop streaming.